even if Devin Brown doesn't win the starting quarterback job at Ohio State this year, I don't think he's transferring for a couple of reasons. But I want to make sure before we get to those reasons, Devin Brown very much so does have a chance to win the starting quarterback job at Ohio State. Like, the feel around Ohio State is it's Kyle McCord's job to lose heading into the spring, and then Devin Brown has to get surgery on a finger on his throwing hand going into the spring game, so he doesn't get a chance to knock it out of the park there and really make a move in this race. But Kyle McCord, Ohio State fans would probably say the same thing, wasn't like overwhelmingly impressive in that spring game. Yeah, he looked decent, threw a touchdown, but it wasn't like, yeah, that's our quarterback. So this battle's going to rage into the fall, as a lot of us anticipated it would. But for Devin Brown, let's just say push comes to shove and Kyle McCord does win the job as the older individual in this race, I don't think he's transferring anywhere. Because Devin Brown was the number one player in the 2022 class. Common sense says he probably wants to go play in the NFL. So wherever he plays his college football at, probably has aspirations to, develop himself and get to the next level and put himself in the best position to get drafted at a high draft pick. And so with that being said, when you look at this, is 1 year at Ohio State less valuable than 2 years somewhere else? Like, is 24 games of tape at another school more valuable to scouts than 12 games of really good tape at Ohio State? I don't think so. And one reason that supports that point is that Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, he did it with one season at Ohio State. Had 1 year starting quarterback, first-round draft pick. It only takes 1 year at a place like Ohio State. You don't need to string together these multiple years of film and be a starter since your freshman year to be able to get a shot at your dreams at Ohio State. And that's what some of the appeal is. And this is not to dunk on anywhere else, but let's just put it this way. If you're applying for a job and they ask to see your transcripts and you have 3 years of a 4.0 GPA at a junior college, or you have 1 year, let's take it even further, 1 semester of a 4.0 GPA at Harvard, which do you think the job is going to value more? Right? Like, that's kind of the way that I see this for Devin Brown. And that's how I think he's processing this, as he could potentially, again, hypothetically, could still be the starter. If he were to not win the job this year, I think he stays and says, you know what, if I have 1 good year here, that's going to be more than enough for scouts. There's a track record to show it. I'm locking in here. And my other thought is, where else is built to succeed like Ohio State's built to succeed at the quarterback position? I mean, multiple first-round draft picks. Like I just said, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. Justin Fields. C.J. Stroud could very well be the first player drafted this year. Where else is built to succeed and has a track record of succeeding like Ohio State at the quarterback position to get you drafted at a high spot? More thoughts on this. Make sure you're subscribed right here. We've had a lot of y'all from Buckeye Nation join us. So, Buckeye fans, lock it in. Subscribe right here. We talk a lot about Ohio State on this channel. Want you to be a part of it. Also, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at JD Piquel. Get at me. Let me know. What do you think Devin Brown's going to do? Do you think he's going to win the job? Do you think he's going to not win the job and transfer out? Or are you in my camp where maybe he doesn't win the job, but I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon? Because think about it this way. Like I just said, where else is built like Ohio State? Is it better to wait it out Ohio State and have 1 good year there, or transfer to a school? The schools that get thrown around right now a lot for transfer quarterbacks is a school like Auburn, a school like Florida. Billy Napier would be then, at that point, you would imagine, going into his 3rd season if he were to transfer in December. Auburn going into Hugh Freeze's 2nd year. So those things are kind of formulating, and we'll see, as we kind of get further and further along, we'll get a better feel for both those schools. I just use them as an example. The reality is, I don't think any spot is as ready-made as Ohio State. Just look at the weapons they're going to have in that wide receiver room. Marvin Harrison Jr. gone to the league after this year. There's still going to be some dogs in that room. Carnell Tate showing a ton of promise. He could be a go-to guy for Devin Brown when his time comes. They recruit the wide receiver position better than anybody else in the country. Shouts to Brian Hartline for doing that. They're going to have weapons for you to throw the football to. And at the quarterback position, your success is very dependent on those around you. So if I'm Devin Brown, I'm looking at my situation and saying, okay, I've been here for some time. I know the system. I know the locker room. I have a routine here at Ohio State. And by the way, I have the best receivers in the country, more than likely, to throw the rock to. And we'll get people in the comments talking about their wide receiver room is better than Ohio State's. Like, listen, they're one of the top, okay? We can have a conversation about who has the top, but I would take Ohio State year in and year out, is what I'm trying to tell you. So for Ohio State, It's a ready-made situation, like I was just saying for Devin Brown. But there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, if he doesn't win the job and he has to wait a whole other year and then he's got to transfer out, that's betting on yourself. Like Devin Brown's a guy, he'll bet on himself. There's a whole bet on yourself crowd out there, and that's fine. Like, I'm all for betting on yourself. But here's my question to that crowd. Is betting on yourself really going somewhere else where it's easier to start? Is that really betting on yourself? Or is betting on yourself staying at a place like Ohio State where the competition is as fierce as it gets and sticking it out and trying to win the job? I mean, I know this is kind of borrowing trouble because if Kyle McCord ends up being a multi-year starter, maybe we kind of change the context around the situation. But I happen to believe that Kyle McCord, just like I was saying for Devin Brown, one good year, goes to the league. Devin Brown, your QB1 next year. Also, going into this coming season, it is so difficult to go wire to wire with your starting quarterback. Devin Brown could very easily get some time this coming season. And who knows what happens then? Who knows if he's impressive enough where he just takes the job over outright. So what I'm trying to tell you is betting on yourself is not transferring out. Betting on yourself is staying put, sticking it out, having some perseverance about you, and proving that you're the guy for the job. And that's the way that I lean when I talk about a guy like Devin Brown. I think that's the way that he's cut. I think that's what he will end up doing. And I'm excited to watch him and Kyle McCord duke it out here in the fall camp. Because, again, this entire video could be a moot point if he just wins the job outright this year. And we have a conversation about Kyle McCord when that time comes. But Ohio State fans, lock it in right here. I am fired up to watch this battle rage on into the summer and fall, and who knows when we'll get a decision from Ryan Day. Keeps his cards close to the vest. But we're going to talk a lot about Ohio State. We'll talk a lot about Devin Brown. We'll talk a lot about your Buckeyes, period. Subscribe right here. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Get at me. Let me know your thoughts. Nick, Break, Lifting Heavy. This is your show. We appreciate y'all, man. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.